Well, to talk a bit more about that breakthrough, I'm joined now on the line by the microbiologist Simon Clarke. He's speaking to us today from Reading University. Thanks for your time today on France 24. What's your
Afternoon.
initial reaction to this news?
Well, my initial reaction is that it's a great piece of news. It's testament to, frankly, decades of work that's gone into finding a vaccine against malaria. While the efficacy against it is not as high as one would like, normally we expect over 50% efficacy in order to declare something to be truly effective. It's better than nothing, given the number of people that suffer with malaria each year and die from it, obviously.
Well, as you say, the efficacy is not as good as we would like. 4 out of 10 cases it suggests that this vaccine can prevent.
Yeah.
I mean, will it be worth it for countries to spend money on this vaccine, given that obviously the countries that we're mostly talking about are some of the poorest in the world?
Well, I think they're going to need support from the developed world on that. And there are other vaccines in the pipeline that may in time prove to be more effective. Just because something is first doesn't mean that it's best. So we may see aid budgets being directed in this direction in the future. But given that there is seemingly a relatively short-lived immunity, I don't know, perhaps it can be boosted, then it's questionable how effective it will actually be, how effective it will be in living up to its promise.
Why is that?
Because the protection that is offered isn't permanent, and frankly not very long lasting. So if you give people a jab in a year or so's time, that effective protection may well have been lost. You have to start all over again, and of course that's a really big problem when you're struggling with poor rural areas, parts of the world that are not easy to get to, and when you have so many people to cover.
That said, though, the head of the WHO has called this news historic.
Yeah.
But why has it taken so long to develop and greenlight a vaccine for malaria? I mean, when you compare it, obviously, to COVID-19, scientists worked remarkably fast to get us a vaccine there. Has there been a lack of resources, a lack of funding for malaria research? What's happened here?
Oh no, there have been huge amounts of funding directed towards malaria, and it's a much more complicated infectious thing, a pathogen, a parasitic pathogen compared to a virus. And when it infects us, it can live in our bloodstreams, it can live in our livers, and that's part of the infection process. And of course, it does different things in order to be able to infect those different parts of the body. So you've got to generate an immune response that works against all of it, not just against a single thing. And I would just point out that the COVID vaccines took us all by surprise. We didn't think that they would be along as quickly as they were. That was a piece of luck, frankly. But to say that malaria research has been poorly funded, no, that wouldn't be true.
Is it true to say, though, that despite the clear breakthrough that's being celebrated here, that probably malaria is something that will plague parts of the world for a very long time, that actually it may be impossible to eradicate malaria because of the complexities that you're detailing here?
This entirely possible, yes. I mean, I think these vaccines, this and any further ones that come along in the next few months and years, will take a bite out of the global toll that malaria takes, but it won't eradicate it.
All right, microbiologist Simon Clarke talking to us from Reading University. Thanks very much indeed, sir, for your analysis on the programme.